Shalom, welcome back to the channel. I'm so glad you're here. This is my week 17 update on Tirzepatide journey, Mounjaro, and yes, it's been another week of tweaks and experiments and honest reflection. This week has been a bit of a roller coaster this month has been a roller coaster in terms of dosage. I was on 6.6 milligrams from Mochi for 4 weeks. And then I jumped up to 10 milligrams for 2 weeks while I was waiting on the medication, that the 10 milligrams that was supposed to come from Mochi, the one that never arrived. So then I went back down to 6.6 when I found out that that is closer to what the Remedy Meds is going to start me out at. And now this week with the prescription from Remedy Meds, I've dropped slightly again to 6.375 milligrams. That's an odd dosage. But that's their attempt to distinguish themselves. So let's talk weight, blood sugar, energy, side effects, diet, and what's going on with that mysterious red injection. So let's dive into the numbers. Weight update first. This week I gained 0.9 pounds. Again, going from 237 to 237.9. That is 1.9 pounds higher than when I started Tirzepatide. My total weight loss so far, it was 70 pounds, but it's now 68.4. Down from my highest weight of 306 pounds. And I lost that on my own without Tirzepatide. So it's the first of the month, and that's when I take my body measurements. I measure 20 points across my body on both sides monthly. And this month I lost 2.25 inches total overall. And that includes 1 inch off my waist and 1.25 inches off my hips. So the scale isn't everything. So there is that. Blood sugar has been a mixed bag. My fasting blood sugar average improved. It went from 140 last week to 134 this week, thanks to me cutting out the nut and seed butters after dinner. However, my continuous glucose monitor 7-day glucose average increased from 132 to 142. That drop in dosage is definitely having an effect on my blood sugar. Also, just keep in mind that my time in range, it ranges, usually the CGM measures up to 180, but when I started the CGM, I set it at 160. So my range is lower. I have not gone above 180 this week. But given that, my time in range has dropped from 99% last week down to 95% this week. So that's not good. So the estimated A1C for my continuous glucose monitor went up a little from 6.5 to 6.7. That reflects the time in range that's decreased. While the My Sugar app still shows it as 6.5, but the My Sugar app averages theirs over 3 months, and that reading that I have from the Dexcom G7 is just for the last week. I actually really like that I can do that for the Dexcom G7. So this week's injection came with a surprise. It was red when I pulled it up into the syringe. I was like, oh, that's interesting. But so don't panic if yours is too. This compounded version contains NAD+ and B12, specifically cyanocobalamin. There, I think I said it right that time, which is why it gives it the red tint. Side effects, honestly, were barely noticeable, just a little morning nausea for 3 days, and I managed that with the slow, deep breaths, which is to be expected, having dropped from 10 milligrams to 6.6. I was previously doing well on 10 milligrams, but with Remedy Meds starting me at a lower dose, that's how I ended up at 6.375. It'll be interesting to see how the added NAD+ and the B12 affect things. if they affect things. I'll report back next week. Oh, and if you're taking extra B12 supplements and you're also getting a B12 injection, you might want to stop the supplements, which is what I'm doing. So let's talk food. What's working for me this week? Breakfast has been chocolate oatmeal with vanilla yogurt. I've loved that. Kelsey has loved that. That's my daughter. And it's been filling and satisfying. Dinner has been a loaded tofu sandwich with a side of pickles, which my family loves and I love and my buddy loves. And my dessert hack has been a protein bar, which is perfect for curbing the sweet cravings without blowing my goals. But lunch, that's where I'm struggling. I haven't found something that is both satisfying and keeps me in my calorie target. Most days I went over. So I'm toying with the idea of having 2 very low calorie days per week to balance it out, but I haven't fully committed on that yet because it's hard enough to try to get down to the 14-11. I made a small but meaningful change this week. I bumped up the speed on the treadmill. I also squeezed in 1 upper body strength workout with 7.5 pound dumbbells. Nothing crazy, but it's something. Tirzepatide hasn't really affected my motivation to work out. No boost, no dip, just normal. So let's get to the Mochi drama. The Mochi refund saga has finally resolved. After weeks of silence, I filed a dispute with my credit card company and boom, we finally have movement. I got 2 refund confirmation emails on April 29th at midnight, and the credits came through the next day on my credit card app. So if you're waiting on a Mochi refund, dispute it, don't wait. So Remedy Meds update. I was frustrated last week about the delay, but they came through. I got an email from Sky at Remedy apologizing and explaining that there was a backlog that was unexpected and that delayed shipment. But my meds did ship out Friday and I had them in hand Saturday. So thankful for that. So let's wrap up with a little mindset motivation. Even when the scale goes up or numbers don't look great, I keep my why front and center. I've made this decision for my health and I'm not backing down because of one off week or one off month or the whole last 4 months. When I don't feel like moving, I move anyways. That's how habits become reality. And let me just say, I haven't lost any weight for the last 4 months, but I've been not losing weight for the last 3 years, even though I've been trying. So even when I don't feel like moving, I move anyway. That's how habits become reality. So to recap, my weight's up a little bit. There's a new dose with a lower dose with the Tirzepatide that has NAD plus and B12 added to it. Food is mostly working except for lunch. Blood sugar is a bit of a roller coaster right now because of the lower prescription of Tirzepatide. Still showing up and I'm still staying in the fight. So that's always a good thing. I'd love to hear how your week is going. Drop your wins, your struggles, or any questions or comments below. And if you found this helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. It really helps the channel grow. Until next time, stay healthy in heart. Shalom.